The Lord be with you. Blessings to you on this continued journey walk through Lent. Today is a Tuesday. We're doing a series on Tuesdays. We have 5 Tuesdays where we're in the session. The last Tuesday is Holy Weekend. We'll be on the 75-day Easter break during that time. So five words that we're doing, each with 5 letters. Last week was trust. Today the word is grace. If you went through a confirmation time at some point, you probably heard a couple different things. One acronym is spelling out each letter, grace up and down, and then putting words with them, God's riches at Christ's expense. The other one that I've used more often than that one, maybe you have too, is the simple definition of grace being God's undeserved love. And that's what we have in our story today. So, I have a postcard that I want to hand around. And today's chapel is one of those days where I invite you to certainly pay attention and absorb, but also to not pay attention and to just be in the presence of the Lord. This picture for me is one that's in the bookstore. You can get one yourself. They cost $17 in the bookstore. I'm just kidding. It could be cheaper, but that's a different story. But they're a beautiful picture. For me, this is a picture of the simplicity of the gospel. There's no decorations in the chapel in this picture yet. It's stunning. It's a stunning picture because of the number of different ways that the light comes into the chapel. It focuses on the baptism. I'll hand it around. But for me, this is a reminder of the last song we'll do in today's chapel service. We're focusing on the story of the woman at the well and the word grace, God's undeserved love for this woman. And I will tell you, I have a lot of great chapel ideas, but about 80% of them happen too late to do anything about it. In the parish, I used to say I finish my sermons on Monday, the day after I preach them, because that's when you go, oh yes, there it is. And for me today, we have the former president of Concordia St. Paul, Dr. Bob Holt. Did you do your doctorate work on the Gospel of John? That's my idea. We should have had President Holt speak today. So instead of that, we're going to focus on the Gospel of John and the story of John chapter 4. Certainly, if you want to talk more about it, talk to President Holt. He's written articles about his doctorate work and has some observations about this story in particular. But it's a story of God's grace. And it's a story of you. I think if John were here this morning, he would invite us to put ourselves in the sandals of this woman and say, this is us receiving this love from God that we don't deserve. So we're going to sing about it in our entrance hymn. I'll hand this postcard around. Most of you have probably seen it, but for me, again, the simplicity of what we try to be as individuals, we try to be at the church, but the gospel is simply God's light coming into what is very simple, that is us. God's light shining through us so that others might come. This woman was, in my view, was chosen by Jesus to be a missionary to the village of Sychar. And you see that in the story. We'll get to that in a little bit. Before we do, we'll sing about Amazing Grace. It's a picture of the woman. The woman said to him, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain. You say that in Jerusalem is a place where people ought to worship." Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me. The hour is coming where neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews. But the hour is coming, and is now here, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." The woman said to him, "I know that Messiah is coming, who is called Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all things." Jesus said to her, "I who speak to you am he." Just then the disciples came back. They marveled that he was talking with the woman, but no one said, "Who do you seek?" or "Why are you talking with her?" So the woman left her water jar and went away into the town and said to the people, "Come see a man who told me all that I ever did. Can this be the Christ?" They went out of the town and were coming to him. Meanwhile the disciples urged him and said, "Rabbi, eat." But he said to them, "I have food to eat that you do not know of." So the disciples said to one another, "Has anyone brought him something to eat?" Jesus said, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me, and to accomplish his work. Do you not say, 'There are yet 4 months, then comes the harvest'? Look, I tell you, lift up your eyes, and see that the fields are white for harvest. Already the one who reaps is receiving wages and gathering food for eternal life, so that the sower and reaper may rejoice together. For here the saying holds true, one sows and another reaps. I sent you to reap that for which you did not labor. Others have labored, and you have entered into their labor." I will teach this song, pause for a couple more comments, and then come back. I'll sing it through, and so listen at this time. We'll sing the song in just a moment, but for me this story is powerful on so many levels. The woman left her water jar. She forgot what she was doing. She was so confused, she was so stunned, she was so confronted by Christ. She's sent, she's chosen. This begins in John 4:4 with this phrase, "And he had to pass through Samaria." That phrase for me, I don't remember what it is in Greek, but in English we have this urgency. He had to do this. He had to go through Samaria, foreign territory, hostile territory. That's what he did for you. He had to come to the cross for you. There's an urgency there. And we're called to leave our water jars and to be stunned us. This woman's married 6 times. You can ask President Holtz his theories on what happened to those husbands. I got my own theories. I think there was a bunch of camel accidents myself. I don't know what happened to those husbands or those marriages. But this is a woman that we probably wouldn't pick for a leadership position in the church. Yet God has called her for this purpose of bringing an urgent message to Sychar and those people she brought to meet Jesus. And they are called, they are changed, and they are loved forever. So God's blessings to you. Some of us have called positions in the church. And some of you will. And even in those called positions, believe me, there are times where you go, I don't feel called, and I don't feel equipped. And in our heritage of the Lutheran Church, we have this priesthood of all believers that says, you are called. Whether you have a document or not, like this woman at the well, you are called to ministry. And you are sent, confronted by the well, and invited to come back and back and back and be reminded of what this living water is all about. That we're called to be priests in the kingdom of God and share the urgency of God who has called, changed, and loved us forever. So I invite you to go today on this Snapchat of chapter 4 to sing this called, changed, and loved forever song. Lord, we give you thanks for the gift of this day and ask that you be with those who are lonely and at the well all by themselves at this moment. You have come to this woman at the well, Lord, and called her, changed her, and through the cross and the empty tomb, you have loved her forever, and you have done the same for each of your sons and daughters in all creation. Be with your church, Lord, as we urgently share your love for all people. Help us, Lord, this day and always to live for you so that others may know your undeserved love, your grace. This and so much more we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Go in peace and serve the Lord.